Hey Taurus, welcome to a Mercury retrograde tarot reading. This is a life reading, by the way. And when I say life reading, what I mean is, it could be about travel, your house, your bills, legal situations. I'm going to let the cards lay out what's happening for you in your Mercury retrograde because I know that people will be dealing in different circumstances in a Mercury retrograde in different ways. But I'm going to use the Flow Tarot deck here while we do this. And please bear in mind that this deck is based off of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because you guys know that when I buy decks, I love buying ones that are in line with that historical way of doing tarot. It's just in this case, you get to look at pretty pictures of whales and water. It's called the Flow Tarot deck because it deals with water. So let's see what's going on, Taurus, in your Mercury retrograde. This is going to last you through the majority of March. And so, yeah, all right. Okay, so one of the things that I think that I am picking up on here is that we have the Ten of Wands involved in this reading. And right here, it's a beautiful card, but the Ten of Wands, this is the card, or the pawns, the suit of the pawns in the Flow Tarot deck is the suit of the Pentacles. It is when you have the Ten of Pentacles in the reversal, there's difficulty with finances that can come up. But what I think is really unique is that here we have the Six of Wands. So the Six of Pentacles showing up in your reading. It's in the upright position, and this is the card about sharing abundance, especially when you have times of difficulties in finances. So remember, I was letting the cards kind of lay it out here. It could have talked about love. It could have talked about travel. But what it's talking about is resources and networking that you're going to be doing during this Mercury retrograde to make sure that your financial situation is solidified, is balanced. Actually, the Justice card is here. An ultimate card of balancing. If anything, is, the traditional tarot of justice is a woman who's holding the scales of justice in her hands, delicately balancing them out. I love seeing that this is a card that you have in your reading in the upright position because it insinuates that some kind of a balancing will occur for you, despite the fact that the Ten of Pentacles is here in the reversal. So traditionally, the Ten of Pentacles, I'll get to the Six of Wands or the Six of Pentacles in a moment here. The Ten of Pentacles is a concept usually in the upright where people are joining their houses together successfully, like two families who come together and they organize their life, they organize their money, they have a great stable environment, lots of security financially. So when this is in the reversal position, and this card was in the reversal, it can lead to that understanding of difficulty in finances. A bit of a loss could come in from the Ten of Pentacles when it's in the reversal, and a need for establishing some kind of wisdom, some kind of a path that you bring into your life to manage those finances when this is in the reversal. In the traditional tarot and the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Ten of Pentacles, I use the word wisdom because there's a gentleman of old age who sits on a chair in that card. In front of him is a family dancing happily, and he sits very sternly aware that he is using his moments of knowledge and wisdom to benefit the family that's in front of him on that card. So again, I'm kind of picking up on this reality of someone who's going to use their wisdom to navigate the financial circumstance they're in. And now we get to the Six of Wands or the Six of Pentacles. The reason this is about sharing abundance, and perhaps the wisdom that comes in, is how you navigate sharing abundance with other people, or rather how they might share it with you. Is because the Six of Pentacles traditionally is a picture of a man who's giving money to other people. There are two people in front of this one gentleman, and he holds in his hand the scales of balance. These two cards traditionally both have the scales of balancing money on them. So for you guys, again, it's like, actually, check this out. No way. The Knight of Snow. This is the Knight of Swords. Look at what it is. It's about adapting. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. This entire thing looks like adapting by working with other people, working with the right people, with strength, slowly carving through your finances. This is the quiet power of carving through time, through the passage of time, right? Like a rock that water carves through. That's why the image is of water carving through the rock here. It's like adapting by sharing your resources with people to balance out your finances at this time. So if I was to kind of give some advice to this reading here, this idea of adapting, this idea of reaching out to people to gain certain resources, my advice to you is be open to people that you're going to be communicating with who are offering help and support if your finances get wobbly. If someone's like, oh yeah, I can help you out with this on Saturday, take the opportunity. If someone's like, oh yeah, we can do this, and if you need an extra shift here, or if you need to come and spend the night, take the opportunity. That's what this card is about, or this reading is about. The fact that this is talking about shared abundance and adaptability, it insinuates, by virtue of the nature of adapting and sharing abundance, when you put those two hand in hand, it insinuates there's going to be an opportunity for you, an opportunity that's open for you. Something is coming down the pipeline. It's going to show up in the form of communication with another person, or maybe a few other people even. I say that also because you have two knights in this reading, one in the upright position, one in the reversal. It's the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. When you have, in tarot, I'll put these upright both here for a second here, but when you have two knights in the upright, it has its own meaning. When you have two knights in the reversal, it has its own meaning. And when you have two knights, but one of them is in the upright and one of them is in the reversal, completely separate meaning, right? It's fantastic to see multiple knights showing up in what's going on here, which is, it's an interesting one to throw into this reading, because one knight in the upright, one knight in the reversal is susceptibility to an intimacy issue. I know we're talking about finances, but suddenly if we have financial situations that are impacting your intimacy between you and another person, it makes more sense. When we're like, hey, let's do a financial reading, and then we shuffle in the idea of an intimacy problem, it feels like we're getting into the territory of a love reading. But we have to remember that sometimes financial situations and difficulties can impact the life that we have in the realms of love. It can impact how we're dealing with our partners, right? Or impact how we're showing up, not just for a partner, but somebody that maybe we want to have a partnership with. But also remembering that intimacy shows up in different forms, not just relationally in terms of like sexual intimacy, but intimacy is this beautiful ability that people have to share with one another, sharing in abundance, and have vulnerability and close connections, even at just like a deeply friend-based level. But again, when someone has financial difficulties, or there's something going on in their life that has rocked the boat, rocked the, not just financial boat, but the lifestyle boat. Sometimes it can impact difficulties we're having outside of us as well in those relationships. Also, something to mention, that because the cards of susceptibility within intimacy are here with these two knights, then it is possible for some of you that some of the difficulties that you have in your lifestyle or your finances might have to do with those people. You might have friends in your life that, or people in your life in general, that you would otherwise typically have been capable of having a shared intimacy, a friendship-based intimacy, or a family-based intimacy with, who you might be navigating with those people, either because they were a part of the financial difficulty, or you are going to those particular people to gain that sense of abundance that you'll be sharing with those resources. The reason I say that is because for some of you, the people that you reach out to with these knights are, again, people you can share resources to. But for others of you, in this Mercury retrograde, the financial difficulty that you might have might require you to cut off certain people in favor of surrounding yourself with the right ones. Because the Strength card in the reversal, in the Flow Tarot deck, it's like the ability to carve through things. As we can see, again, it's a picture of water slowly taking the time to carve through those rocks. But in traditional tarot, the Strength card is connected to not strength with your arms and your muscles. It's the strength to overcome and subdue issues that have a tendency to be connected to like the 7 deadly sins, like sloth, laziness, greed, coveting, gluttony, overindulgence, over sexuality, over intimacy problems, or like lustful intimacy. And so when this is in the reversal, it looks like somebody might, even wrath and anger, right? It might be that somebody is challenged in this Mercury retrograde while you're dealing with balancing things out in abundance, especially on the financial front. There might be an alternative challenge that you have that you will be tackling in this Mercury retrograde that is connected to people that you know, that challenges your potential emotional state. If you've had any of those 7 deadly sins that you've been working on, if you haven't been treating your health properly, if you've been, letting yourself be too much on the lust department, if you've been over gluttonous and overeating or over angry, you might find that you're tackling that as well. It almost kind of looks like this. It's like 1, 2, 3 cards, this like this upright triangle, and then here 1, 2, 3, this inverted triangle. There's almost like a bit of a two-sided energy happening in this reading that for some of you might find relatable. You're balancing your lifestyle out while also balancing friendship dynamics or people that are associated to you, dynamics of your associates out. And for some of you, if the 10 of Pentacles isn't about financially gaining wisdom, then it's stability in your life with these people. Sometimes the abundance that people share doesn't have to show up in the realms of balancing finances, but it can be showing up in the realms of balancing your wisdom and your state of being, like choosing the right people in your life, like building up boundaries that are as firm as the rocks on this image. So for some of you Tauruses, I think you're navigating shared resources. And for others of you, I think you are the resource and you're going to need to make sure that you don't share it to the wrong person. And that's what you will be balancing out and tackling in this Mercury retrograde. I'm going to leave it off like that, my dears. And I'm going to head over to TikTok and I'm going to do some love readings over there on TikTok. These are the Mercury retrograde readings. And then tomorrow I'll do Gemini. I'll come back to YouTube and I'll do a little bit more. I like these readings. I'm in a good vibe. This is, again, the Flow Tarot deck, by the way. Just take the moment to appreciate, if you will, the beauty of this deck. Lovely images that were chosen for this deck. I love it. I haven't used it enough in my readings here with you guys, so I'm excited to get to showcase it a little bit. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for joining me here, and ciao for now.